this project you're working with your dad's artwork as well. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, art obviously runs in the family.
Yeah, it certainly does. My sister is an amazing oil painter, and she paints on different media as well, but her oil paintings are phenomenal. And I do portraits, mainly sort of pencil drawings, but also bits of painting as well. And then I set up this company, Real Arts Workshops, sort of on the back of that, really.
It's a little while since your dad passed away. Because how long is it now?
It's just over a year. So he
Hmm.
passed December 23.
And when you come to look through the belongings of your parents, I've sadly had to do both of my parents' belongings, and I mean to be fair, I found an awful lot of artwork there. From work that both mom and dad did back in the day, and it gives you a link to the past, and you remember when they did it, when you first saw it, and sometimes you look at it and think. No, they didn't do that one, did they? And it's just stuff that it just sort of turns up, and I mean, how much artwork have you been able to locate?
There must be, well, there's in excess of 200. I was saying when we were communicating before that there's about 200, and then I've just found another folder.
Hmm.
And unbeknownst to me, that in every sleeve in this folder, I thought it was just one artwork. There's about 10 or 20 behind the first one. So that's probably going to go up to about 300, I reckon. 300 sort of original artworks that my father did. And like you say, it's a connection to your parents, isn't it? It's that physical
Hmm.
thing you hold in your hand and sort of look on and reminisce.
And Max Vann is his name, and
Max, yeah.
uh,
His
uh,
name was John Maxwell, but he preferred Max.
that's what he. That was what the family called him as well. Apart from you, obviously, you called him Dad, but is that what the family called him?
Well, we just called him Dad, obviously, but everyone, all his colleagues. So to explain, so Dad was a teacher. So the
Hmm.
majority of his working life, he was a school teacher. Taught history was his main subject, although he also knew a lot about different languages. He was fluent in German, for example, and knew a
Hmm.
bit of Russian. One of those polymaths. I think that you can add a lot of different skill.
Yeah.
Um, so when we had the funeral, obviously to be official, the celebrant was saying John, but some of his colleagues came, some of his ex-colleagues from Tividale Comp, which is where he spent most of his working life, and they were saying it's so strange to hear people talking about John because we all knew him as Max. And I think as well, because another thing that he did, not just being a talented artist and a teacher, he actually drove a bus as well. So he passed his public service vehicle license and drove the Black Country Tours bus. So
Wow.
he was at the start of that company, which was obviously some people remember there was a bar on board this bus,
Hmm.
and actually the first bus had a upright piano on it as well. I remember you tinkling away to, and I served behind the bar as well some nights. Um, yeah, that was great fun. So he drove this bus as well. When he retired from teaching, I think he did a lot more sort of the things that he liked, he wanted to do, in sort of younger life, like driving a bus and also artwork. So he became like a part-time commercial artist as well.
Hmm.
The entrepreneur Richard James, who started the beer bus company, had different businesses as well. He was a chef, so he did a whole lot of work around faggots and pays, and had restaurants called Grorty Dicks.
I know the
So
ones. Yep.
yeah. So Dad was doing a lot of the promotional work for that. You see, if they needed a poster, he'd do the graphic design for that and lettering. And he also did caricatures. So these feature on some of the Black Country work that he'd done, but
Hmm.
also when he was teaching, if colleagues were leaving school, he'd do them like a little leaving caricature, sort of a great escape type thing.
And
And
this was the reason some of them left was just to get the caricature, I'm sure.
I'm sure it was actually. I mean, I've got a few examples here I could show you if you like, just to give you a sense of the detail that he would go into.
Hmm.
He created all his own worksheets for the students. It wasn't like it is in our day now where we can just go
Just
onto the internet and
download it.
download. He would hand create it, and I remember this quite clear. That sort of working late into the evening, late into the nights, really doing these hand-drawn worksheets. A lot of them, very visual, but full of text as well, full of information. Would you like to see some?
Go on, yeah.
So this is an example all about Little Bighorn.
And that is
So
beautiful artwork there. And I mean, what you're looking at is textbook quality work, which was something he did to, Gestetner probably out to the students.
yes, that's right. So he reproduced those. They got made into slides as well, so you could
Hmm.
project it onto OHP or whatever it was they used. In it wasn't. Again, we've got digital projectors now and that sort of stuff. So it would have
Yeah.
been a bit different, a bit more sort of hands-on in those days, I suppose.
But bringing the subject to life for the kids, and
Well,
it's just phenomenal work. And it's that's a passion project, isn't it? That is something he just loved to do.
this is the point, you see. So when he passed away, and there's a Tividale Comp Facebook group. So all the accolades were coming in, about Mr. Vann because he was very well regarded by the students and by the staff, of course.
Hmm.
Um, but were very well thought of, and I think a lot of teachers perhaps aren't.
It's a job these
Um,
days, very often, isn't it? Sometimes.
yeah, so this sort of
This
stuff
is
you think,
clearly more than that. Oh, and that is beautiful. I mean, you're looking there at, bringing another country to life for the kids with the tour of France, pretty much in just that one sheet. The facts and figures that go there, copperplate handwriting as well, and a beautifully diagrammed piece of paper that really would have made that lesson something they would go home and talk about.
and this is what they were saying, and people were saying they've got a love of history now just through my dad's teaching, which is a great legacy. You
So,
know,
so what happens with this artwork now, though? Because this is it going to be brought to life in a book form or a display, an exhibition? You must be doing something with it.
At the moment, I'm concentrating on an Instagram account. I might do a Facebook page as well. So um, I guess it's mainly for like a family project at the moment. So we're sharing amongst ourselves because there's some stuff here that I haven't seen before.
Hmm.
And the same, I've got three siblings. So we're sort of enjoying sharing dad's work at the moment. It's like another connection to him and to mum as well, because obviously, as you know, sorting out possessions and things, we've come across a load of letters that they were writing to one another before they were married. So
Hmm.
I'm learning more about my parents through those as well and sort of piecing things together
Yeah.
about their life before us, sort of thing, which is really intriguing, and dad was very much an adventurer. He was situated in Lichfield, I think, at the start of his teaching career,
Hmm.
or before he started teaching. Even he was in the army. He volunteered for national service at a time when he did. It wasn't mandatory. A lot of young men would have decided not to do it, but he wanted to, and he was quickly promoted to sergeant. Where he met my mum, who was working in the NAFI shop, the sort of the army shop. She was stationed in Bury St Edmunds.
It's a good job he
Uh,
did then. We wouldn't have you and your artwork otherwise.
I know, but they were obviously quite committed to one another because his letters are wonderful, and it's not like nowadays you do a text or an email or whatever.
Hmm.
These are handwritten on paper again, which is something that's tangible.
Yeah.
And we are 60 years later, still able to read them. Will we be able to say that about emails in 60 years' time? I'm not
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, well, you did. And so many people pour so much into Facebook and Messenger and whatever else. Yes, you own the copyright, but somebody else owns the storage, and at some point that will go off potentially.
Well, exactly. It's all transient,
Yeah,
really, isn't
I,
it?
I I have all my family photos and everything backed up on three different type servers. Yeah, we got Apple, OneDrive, and Google, in the hope that that's going to be a secure place for me to have them, as well as hard drives scattered around the family. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. You never know, do you?
Uh,
Um,
but it's an
so yeah,
amazing collection.
that's the starting point. I think we'll share them digitally at first, but I think the idea of a book is really appealing. Some sort of exhibition as well. There's enough work here, but obviously finding a venue and whatever. I mean,
Hmm.
another thing we did was this tea towel, a Black Country tea towel.
And yeah, it's that again, fantastic work, great artwork, great comedy, and immortalized forever. And where was that sold?
The Black Country Museum. So, according to Dad, this was one of the first tea towels ever to be sold in the Black Country Museum.
And they've done
Um,
lots of great things in the since,
yeah,
continuing in that fantastic tradition that he started.
and this was organised by the Black Country Society. This one. So there is, his name on there, Max Vann. That's the name he sort of preferred to be his
Is
sort of
the professional name.
Yeah, exactly. And then printed by this company. I think this was a colleague actually from his school. So that's like a screen printing company doing t-shirts and this sort of thing. And again, my dad sort of worked quite a lot. They started part-time, I think, while they were both still teaching.
But
Um, but then they used to do these sorts of projects together. He'd
but
done
it's
also
fantastic. And
an version of the
the
last
last
supper.
backcountry supper. So yeah, lots of little pieces that emulate so many things, and not only amazing memories of the family, but look at amazing pieces of artwork. So where are you sharing all of that?
Instagram at the moment,
And under what name?
Max Van, which is one word, two ends again, underscore art, Max
So
Van Art.
so that's what we're looking for. Max Van two ends underscore art. Have a look at this amazing collection. As I say, this is something which I think you need to see in real life. Put it behind glass and everybody enjoy it in a fantastic exhibition. That sounds like a brilliant way of doing it. Well, the legacy continues.